Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow host, Johnny Papadopoulos. Johnny, welcome in. How are you, sir?
Papadopoulos. We're adding some vowels now. What's up, man? You know how when you get a phone call and you always know when it's a telemarketer because they always mispronounce your last name. I guess you don't have to deal with that because your last name's Dawson. But let me tell you what the last name Paulus, spelled Poulos. I get Poulos, Paulos, you name it. My favorite mispronunciation ever. They added like 4 extra vowels. Can I speak to Mr. Pouliolius? I was like, wow, dude. There's 6 letters in the last name. Pouliolius?
I would say, yes, you can. Yes, the fuck you can. Man. I'm right here.
Yep, this is Mr. You got him. Nobody ever pronounces the name right. Yeah, this is Mr. Pouliolius.
Yeah, you sound like a forlong disease.
It kind of does, yeah.
So I'm assuming you've had a good week, sir. Everything's going well for Johnny P over there down the street.
Mm-hmm. Been gaming my face off. This little light, if you're watching the YouTube, you can see the light above me. But we set up this little herb station, and it finally everything filled up so big that we had to take them out and move them to pots. So now I have like huge dill and thyme and rosemary and all that shit. So much fun. We're gonna have tons of fresh herbs. This little thing is awesome.
Yeah, I must say I have noticed that the streaming seems to have cut back some though.
I've been streaming almost exclusively Marvel Snap, and now that we're at the sort of end of the season, I'm just kind of taking it easy on the Snap. I think I'm going to stream tonight a little bit more, but no, it's just I've just been going easy because I guess I'm afraid to stream other games because it really hurts the average viewer count. So I've still been gaming, I just haven't been streaming as much. I've been playing a lot of Atomic Heart and a lot of Hogwarts. We'll talk about that. But no, I did like last week when I was pushing for Infinite. I mean, I streamed like 6 or 7 days in a row. I mean, I was going hot. So I slowed down a little bit this week just because the season's almost done.
Indeed. Do not be afraid to stream other games. Mm-hmm. Many of the other streamers that I mod for will perhaps echo that same sentiment. You, sir, you are the show, not the game that you play. So,
yep.
No, I just miss hanging out. Even though, of late for me, it's kind of been I'm there, albeit I'm not nearly as chatty as some of the people in your chat, mainly because I've got a controller in my hand and have been slaying some co-op stuff with Mandy lately. So
nice.
Man, I'm going to talk about this a little bit more when we get to 1UP, but my last 2 days have been spent just absolutely murdering my fingers because I have been cramming for this rehearsal that I had today. I'm playing in the musical Jesus Christ Superstar.
Nice.
Which I was always familiar with that because Andrew Lloyd Webber, of course, is a very famous composer, Phantom of the Opera, Cats, etc. And I wasn't super familiar with the music in Jesus Christ Superstar when I signed up to be the bass player in this. Yeah, the bass playing in this fucking musical is bonkers.
I believe that, yeah.
It's satanically difficult. You really have to have a full understanding of the fretboard of a bass. So I'm a very seasoned bass player. Mm-hmm. However, I haven't sat down with a book of music, actual notation, in a while. It is kind of like riding a bike, though. You put it back in front of me, and like within an hour, I'm up and running. But
Mm-hmm.
holy fuck. So for the past 2 days, I've been cramming 8 hours a day
Oh my God.
to be ready for the rehearsal that I just got done with, where we went all the way through Act 1, so 12 songs. And I'm like, next week we go over Act 2, so I have a week now to perhaps at a more relaxed pace learn those additional songs and also refresh the ones that I've been drilling into my brain. And I'm just like, my poor fingers are just absolute mush, so I'm going to take tomorrow off and let them heal a bit. But
Wow.
that's been my weekend. So I actually don't feel like I've had any time off at all, because I've just been sitting with a bass guitar on and a book of sheet music in front of me, just getting after it. So it's going to be cool. The actual show, we're doing 2 weekends of shows. So the 24th through the 26th, and then the 31st through the 2nd. We'll be doing 3 shows, one each night, 2 weekends in a row. So will be coming up. There's live streams. I'll put links out there and stuff for it.
Cool.
And if you live in Maryland and want to come see a musical with really good musicians, one of the main guys is my old music professor from AACC.
Nice.
Is playing. You might know who that is, but pretty cool stuff. Feels good to be back in the world of musicals. I haven't done one since Footloose, like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. So been playing sheet music, Johnny Paulus. How do you feel about sheet music?
Sheet music might as well be alien language to me.
That's normal for guitarists.
Yeah, you can give me tabs. You can give me tabs all day. I'm good. But you give me sheet music, I could figure it out, but it would literally be sitting there note by note, going, "Okay, that's it." Yeah,
that's not what you want to be doing with that
No, trust me, I know.
Oh, it's the worst. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is episode 107 of the Power Gamer podcast. Now, we did kind of gloss past this. I guess just as me and Johnny are just kind of like in a rhythm, and we're not really thinking about this. We just hit our 2-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago. And we didn't even stop to savor the moment.
No,
I think we just blew past it. So,
it didn't even occur to me.
Yeah, we've been at it for just over 2 years now. So, congratulations, you son of a bitch.
Hey, look at us.
We've been podcasting for over 2 years. And I do actually want to touch on something real quick for our listeners, because it always feels good to be part of something cool. And to our listeners, what the fuck is going on right now? Holy shit. Where did you all come from? Wow. I'm just blown away. I don't know if it is the content that we're focusing on, the stories that we're reporting on, or whatever, but Jesus Christ, people. Welcome. Welcome in.
I'm logging into the Zencast now.
Are you not aware of what we've been turning over the past month?
Wow.
Yeah, we've had much higher traffic than we have in quite a while. So, definitely welcome in. It's nice. It's obvious that we have a lot of new listeners, many of which seem to be coming back on a weekly basis, both on the big platforms and even the evil empire of Spotify. We've got some of you hooligans over there pursuing us that haven't been in the past. So welcome in. You've come at the best time. Don't feel bad about not being here when me and Johnny first started. We were really fucking bad at this.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we've gotten so much better. So you've really picked the best time to be present. And we just want to welcome you in. Thank you for being here. Connect with us over on our Twitter. I think that's where we're most active on social media. Johnny handles all of our social mediaing. You can find us on Twitter at PowerGamerCast. So find us there and give us a follow if you're not already. and you can harass Johnny there in real time.
Yep, you can DM us, questions, whatever. We'd love it.
So, yep, just wanted to take a second and acknowledge not only just what me and Johnny have accomplished, but what you, our community, our wonderful listeners, are doing right now. It's truly incredible, and we can't really put into words what all of your support means to us. So thanks so much for being here. And I'm just glad that we're bringing something that makes you happy for, 60 to 80 minutes every week. It really means a lot to us, and gives us lots of energy to come here and do this every week. So thanks to each and every one of you checking out our show. You guys are awesome.
All right. Yeah.
Booyah. So without any further ado, let's get into what everyone's been waiting for. And that is to discuss what we've been playing this week. I'll just get mine out of the way real quick, because as I said, bass guitar is mainly what I've been up to this week.
Mm-hmm.
I am well past the halfway point in Borderlands 3. It's great, and it's Borderlands. So nothing really... I don't think I'm going to have too much new to report on Borderlands 3 until perhaps I finish it. But it's very good, and it's a Borderlands game. Other than that, I meant to turn on God of War Ragnarok so many times this week and just never really had the time to. I've been meaning to finish Blanc, and I just haven't had the time to. But it seems to be no problem for me to grab my Switch and play Harvestella. And I am really infatuated with this game, and I don't know if maybe it's just because this is the first, life sim, farm sim, is that what the genre of game's called, that I've really sat down with and played. I don't know if it's because that, and I'm just infatuated with that gameplay rhythm, or if perhaps Harvestella just has something special about it, in the characters, in the writing, and in the world the game takes place in. And I really do like it. It's got a lot of hat tips to that old early 2000s, mid 2000s, kind of like PS2 golden year of RPGs. Real-time combat, cool monsters, lots of side quests, lots of stories. Really enjoying Harvestella and the gameplay loop, and some of the interesting things dealing with time throughout the day and having to get to bed by a certain time, and the quietus season. So in Harvestella, every 30 days quietus happens, and it changes the seasons. But during quietus, it's a one-day thing. This well appears at your farm, and it's a fucking roguelike that you enter for the one day, and it's a gauntlet.
That's cool.
And you get all this cool loot that you can use the next month out at your farm. And that was a component that just caught me off guard until I hit it yesterday, and I was like, the game kind of makes you think you shouldn't even go out of your house during quietus, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm stepping out of my house. And then I see this glowing purple well in the distance. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so I go investigate it, and it's this whole roguelike where you go further and further down the well, and the enemies get harder. And I'm like, what the fuck? This game is amazing.
That's cool.
So I really like Harvestella. I really think a lot of people slept on this game. I don't think the game got talked about a lot because Square Enix just fucking released so much shit last year. And then this one was probably easy to get overlooked. So I would say, yeah, if you have a Switch or if you have a PC, because it's out on Steam also, and you want a great Japanese RPG that also has life sim stuff baked into it, this game's wonderful. It's really fun. I was looking up times to beat and stuff, and it looks like you could beat it in theoretically 30 hours, but most people getting kind of sucked in to the life sim thing. Don't get too excited there, Johnny Paulus. I saw you.
Getting sucked off. Jesus.
Hey-o.
What's the price tag on this game?
Not enough, apparently. Not enough. It's really good. And I would say if you thought about checking it out and didn't, or were hesitant about checking it out, to just go ahead and go for it. I think it's really good. And I hate games that aren't good. And this one's pretty great. So, enjoying Harvestella. Oh, I was saying before I got into blowjobs that the game takes about 54 hours to complete if you're, being filleted by it.
Fair enough.
So Harvestella worth checking out. And that's, other than a little bit of Star Citizen sprinkled in here and there, still waiting for 318 to go live. That wraps up what I've been playing this week. So, Johnny, on to you.
Have you excuse me. Have you ever played Stardew Valley?
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. Not tons, like maybe 5 hours worth.
Oh my god, I have hundreds of hours in Stardew. I love it.
Yes, I am aware of the amount of time that you have invested in Stardew.
Yeah, love Stardew.
When that game came out, it just wasn't at the right time for me to sink my teeth into something like that.
Yeah.
I know it's there. I know it's very good. But yeah, I'm trying to tackle newer things, I guess.
Yep. So I have basically played the same games I played last week, but I do have quite a bit more to say about them. Atomic Heart, I feel like I'm probably 15 or 20 hours into. The thing that really surprised me with this game is in the very beginning part of it, you're in this like lab and everything you're doing is indoors. And it definitely has kind of that Half-Life-y sort of BioShock vibe. And then you get out of there and it's now like an open world. And what's really cool about this open world spot is there are all these different testing grounds that are hidden around the place. And all of the testing grounds, they're not easy to get into. You got to figure out where the door is, how to open the door, what thing do I have to hack to get into this thing. And then once you get in there, there's a bronze chest, there's a silver chest, and there's a gold chest. And almost all of them are puzzle related or trying to figure out how to progress further into it. And these unlocks that you're getting in those testing grounds are schematics for weapons, schematics for upgrades to the weapons. So if you want an extended mag for your favorite gun, the map will tell you which testing ground has it. So it's added this extra part of like, it's making me, even though, yes, I have that quest marker there, I know that's where I got to go next, but I really want to upgrade my shotgun first. So let me go find out this testing ground and figure out how to get in there and stuff. The enemy types are awesome, and the methods to get through them and all of the powers that I have now. I have like a shock ability. I have a telekinesis ability where I can lift enemies and then slam them down on the ground. I have a polymer blast where I can coat enemies in this coating, and that makes them more susceptible to elemental stuff. So if they're weak to fire, I can coat them with the polymer coating and then set them on fire, and it does extra damage. The biggest tip I can give you when you go to play this game likes to drop bosses on your face when you don't know that they're coming. So the number one piece of advice that I can give you is there are these save rooms very similar to Resident Evil where you go in and you save, and then you go up to the machine and you can craft more weapons, craft more ammo, shift some things around from your storage to your inventory. Min-max this every time you get to one. If you feel like you're a little light on bullets, you should disassemble some shit and make more bullets, because the game might just... I got a massive boss dropped on my head, and I did not have enough bullets to get him down, and the checkpoint literally blocked me off. I couldn't run from the fight, so I finally resorted to killing this guy with melee weaponry, which took, I'm going to say 10 tries, but realistically it was probably more like 15. So I did sort of screw myself a little bit. So when you're playing this game, it will drop a boss on you that you have no idea is coming. You'll just think you're doing the next step in the quest, and Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Let's go to this lab, and then boom, boss fight, and you've got 5 bullets and not enough health to get through it. You can screw yourself a little bit in this game. Russian games like to do this, right? Metro 2033 was really bad at that too. But otherwise, dude, this game is a dream. If you like vast first-person shooter sort of BioShock, Half-Life-y type games, I am fucking in love with this game. I think it's a must-play. Moving on, Hogwarts Legacy. Holy shit, Hogwarts Legacy. I actually have a little bit of a rant about this game. Obviously, we've gone over and over and over the controversy of Hogwarts Legacy, and one of the pieces that I'd seen sort of on TikTok when this game came out, because one of the first characters that you meet, her name is Sirona, and she's a trans woman. She runs the like one of the pubs, one of the taverns in Hogsmeade. I heard people ranting about how this character's name was Sir Ona, and being like, oh, they can't even, like, you know, they can't even take it seriously that they have this trans character. Both of my kids are playing this game, and I heard both of my kids have a 5-minute conversation about how much of a badass Sirona is. And I think that's incredible diversity support when I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old kid, and they're both going, yeah, no, Sirona didn't take crap from, she didn't back down. Oh, yeah, because she's a badass. She's awesome. Yeah, she is awesome. I love her. And there was no conversation of she's trans this or she's trans that, or none of that. It was just she's presented as a woman, and both of my kids think that she's a badass woman. And I think that they should get credit for that. So, J.K. Rowling bad, fine. Developers for this game, so far, good. This game is sick. Now that I've unlocked my room of requirement, which is your own private sort of quarters, you can customize it. And now I have spells where I can conjure a chair, I can conjure a painting, I can change the walls to be whatever styles I want, and then it opens up to get even bigger. And I know that this is where it's going to open up and give me like almost my own little pocket of Animal Crossing, where I can build my own pathways and choose what pets I want to have. And like, this game is dense, man. It's got a lot. So far, all of the side quests feel really good. The combat is amazing. The switching between the different spells is really well done. I now have 16 spells on my bar, and I can switch between them very quickly. And it's pretty natural to be like, all right, I'm going to disarm that guy. I'm going to pull this guy. I'm going to set that on fire. I'm going to throw this object at him. It's starting to really pick up, and I am frankly fucking blown away by this game. This is going to be a contender for Game of the Year for me. It's really, 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 really fucking good.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a contender in Game of the Year discussions a lot of places. I mean, just the style of game it is conducive to that. You know, big open world game, big story, high production value. To loop back on your point with Sirona, and I'm sure, you know, the people, it's a very small number bitching about the character's name.
Yeah.
It is what it is, guys. You know, it would be like if we accredited everything that happened in Star Wars to George Lucas. Yes, he created the Star Wars universe, but he has very little to do with it now. That is where Hogwarts is kind of the first foray into things that take place in that universe, but have very little to do with the person who created it. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
You know, Avalanche Studios has done well, and even within their own ranks, have gone through great lengths to make sure that they were promoting a message of inclusivity. So if you're on the fence because of that stuff, just take it for what it is and don't turn it into something that it's not.
Yep.
Game looks great.
It is.
And
I'm
I don't
happy
give
to
a
report that it's really fucking good.
I don't give a flying fuck about Harry Potter. I might play it. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you, Mike, that you need to.
I might.
Whether you give a fuck about Harry Potter or not, I think this is a game that you could very easily get sucked into and enjoy.
I mean, the one thing that has me interested is that I can be evil.
Oh yeah.
Evil.
Yes.
And that is my calling.
Yes. Any game where Mike Dawson could be the biggest bastard in the whole universe, he'll do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I because villains need a hero too. And that is me. Looks like you've got one more to touch on here, Johnny.
I do. I'm happy to report that 87 hours into Midnight Suns,
Fucking grief.
I still got the itch to play some more of the Deadpool DLC. So the Deadpool DLC's out, and then now they also just released the Venom DLC. So I've got some shit to play through, and I still love this fucking game. It's still a blast to play, and now that the game was deemed a flop and the prices are dropping, I saw the deluxe edition that comes with the season pass for like $40-$50. Like, if you're on the fence on this game, you shouldn't be anymore. If you like turn-based strategy games, just buy it, because it's a banger, and they keep giving more content for it, and I'm still enjoying that content. So yeah, 87 hours in, I'm not done with it, and I happily fired it up and played another 3-4 hours this week. So yeah, still love Midnight Suns, still playing it. It's awesome.
87 hours.
87 hours, and I'm still going.
That's impressive. That's a lot of friendship simulating.
It is a lot of friendship simulating, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up what we've been playing this week. Let's turn our eyes forward into this new month, and as is become customary, and I will do my best to keep this train rolling, it's our first episode of March, so it's time to talk about the games being released this month that are of interest to Johnny and myself. So here is your March release radar. Johnny, if you have anything to add about any of the games, feel free to chime in. We've got a couple to cover. Well, one to cover that's already come out as of the time that we're talking. It'll be two by the time you listen to this. A couple days ago, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty was released unto the world. The much anticipated next release from it's Team Ninja, right? That did Neo, as well as some other games. Team Ninja actually has a long, rich history of games, including a certain Metroid game that I thought was very underappreciated. Other M, of course. But Wo Long Fallen Dynasty's come out. It's had mostly good reviews. They're it's no Elden Ring killer, if you will, but seems to be doing okay. Not quite as well as Neo or Neo 2 did, but seems to be doing just fine. Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. Now, this is a game that I guess I'll probably pick up at some point. It is on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, you may experience the game without having any dollars invested outside of your monthly subscription. It should prove to be a very challenging game. And that is a lot of the reviews are talking about its challenge, which is in keeping with tradition with games like Neo and Neo 2. They do not feel like Souls games. It's a completely different animal. They're a lot more like Sekiro than they are like Demon Souls or Dark Souls.
Yeah.
So there's a fairly steep learning curve to getting the parry system down in a Team Ninja.
Well, and I would actually argue that Team Ninja sort of blazed that path with difficult games with the Ninja Gaiden series on Xbox. Those games were brutally fucking hard.
Yes.
Brutally hard.
Yes, especially Black.
Yeah.
So Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, that's out now. You can go snag that now. If you're feeling the itch from your lack of Elden Ring content. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. This has had a lot of press. It's the new expansion for Dead Cells. It basically mishmashes it with Symphony of the Night, where Alucard and Trevor, or Simon, join you in your fight against Dracula. So, new Dead Cells game coming out. Now, I have not played Dead Cells at all. Johnny, I know that you've played quite a bit of Dead Cells. Will you be checking out
Dead Cells.
Return to Castlevania?
Yeah. I mean, Dead Cells is one of the best roguelikes ever made. So, yeah. You're telling me that you took your Castlevania-inspired roguelike and actually got the loyalty juice, or the royalty juice, to make it an actual Castlevania thing? Yes, sign me up.
Yeah, my sentiment the entire time watching Konami do this is, that's really cool. Huh, maybe you should have just made your own fucking game.
Yeah.
But if they're not, I guess Dead Cells is okay.
They're just happy releasing their fucking collections of old games. That's all they seem to be doing anymore.
Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. It's been a while since we've had a Fatal Frame game. For those unaware, you take pictures and see ghosts, and they're really scary. And there's a new one due out on the 9th, this Thursday. Next up, this one might hit a little closer to our fan of goddamn near endless JRPGs.
I thought of you when I saw this on the list.
Yes, the Legend of Heroes gains yet another entry in its Trails series, gaining yet another entry. The Legend of Hero Trails of Azure comes out on the 14th of this month. Now, full disclosure, Johnny, I have never played a Trails game, so
me neither.
They have a huge community, huge following. They're really well regarded. Perhaps it's something I need to check out at some point. Maybe this is a good jumping in point. I don't know. But it's certainly a series that thankfully you don't have to have any continuum on playing. They're each their own thing, sort of like Final Fantasy. So, Supermassive Games re-enters the VR space with yet another Dark Pictures themed game. This one called Switchback VR for the newly released PSVR 2 comes out March 16th. I have a great feeling that's going to be just as terrible as their last one, but it was noteworthy that another Dark Pictures game that takes place in VR is out. At least this one's not a roller coaster simulator. So there's that.
Yeah.
A game that is probably a day one purchase for me, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon comes out on March 17th. This is a game that I will take a moment to talk about, and maybe you'll have something to say here too. But this game looks wonderful. It's coming out on my, I guess my favorite console to spend time on of late, my stinky Switch. And unlike other Bayonetta games, this has nothing to do, at least gameplay-wise, with any of the recent Bayonetta games at all, or any of the previous. You play as, I'll call her baby Bayonetta, but young child Bayonetta. And she cannot engage in combat in this game. Sort of like an isometric view, RPG kind of looking thing, and you have your stuffed kitty who turns into a big monster slaying kitty. And so you are able to issue commands and make your kitty go attack the bad guys. And that's how the game works. And I think that's really cool. I love the art style of the game. I think this is really maybe something special that's coming out this year. So I am excited to check out Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. Any thoughts from you on this one? Have you taken a look at this at a glance, perhaps?
Yeah, I can't put into words why, but I have zero interest in this game. Both the trailers I saw of this, I was just like, okay. Yeah, I was just like, all right, I'm skipping that one. I don't know why. It doesn't interest me at all.
Well, I instantly
maybe you changed my mind.
I instantly regret asking for your opinion. And we'll instead move on. Atelier Ryza 3 in the, I guess, somewhat long-running JRPG series from Koei Tecmo gets its third entry on March 23rd. The biggin, Resident Evil 4 Remake, comes out March 24th. Now, we have seen more of this game as of the last Switch showcase, if you will. And no one's expecting this to be bad because everything we've seen of it looks phenomenal. So,
yeah, it looks incredible.
Resident Evil 4 Remake will be in your grubby hands this month. The definitive baseball release, MLB The Show 23, comes out March 28th. Now, this is the second year that they've been released on every platform, so you don't have to be a PlayStation fanboy any longer to buy MLB The Show. Third year. Sorry, it has been 3 years. Holy fuck. Third year that you can buy it anywhere. What's cool with this year's edition of MLB The Show is they finally bring back a really long lost piece of history, at least long lost on, I'd say, a lot of people. And they have this whole special campaign based around the Negro Leagues that looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize or maybe stop to think a lot about how long that baseball league existed. It was like 40 years. It was not a short period of time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there, and a lot of it, until very recently, was always looked at as being adjunct from the MLB, which, I don't really think too many people, even from the Negro Leagues, cared in the sense of they felt like they needed the recognition from the MLB. I think the history stands on its own. I think Jackie Robinson coming out of that league speaks for itself. But it is nice now to see the MLB doing better at associating itself with the NLB and doing more to lift up its history. Because I think there's a lot of value there that's just not been touched. I mean, a lot of legends of the sport played there, and it's not like people really stop and think about it for a second, okay? Let's just be real for a moment, okay? Let's not be anything other than completely fucking real. All right? Black people have all the best goddamn athletes. All right? That's just how it is. I don't know. I don't know that I needed to tell anybody that, or if I'm breaking any fucking news here, but that's how it is. That's how it was, and how it is. We could get somebody smarter than me and Johnny to explain why that is. I don't know why, but I know that's how it is. And to think that for such a long time, when this country was segregated, that we had a league of basically all of these men who would be absolute fucking superstars, sheltered off away from the main MLB, is batshit fucking crazy. Okay? It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Imagine if today's NFL, okay? Let's just be real. Imagine if today's NFL was all white dudes. Right? I don't know if any of you looked at the fucking Hall of Fame in the past 20 years. Okay? There's a few. You got your Tom Brady's, you got your Peyton Manning's. There's a few. But it ain't very white. Okay? Yeah. So imagine that. Imagine that. That's what this country was. And there was a whole league where all of these great baseball players played. I think about how different it would have been if it wasn't like that. You know, what names would be household names besides Babe Ruth, who was fucking gagging on hot dogs?
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here. So I think this is really cool. I am picking this one up day one.
It looks great.
I love the show to begin with, but I really think that this campaign is going to be something special to play through and to experience. So if you are a baseball fan, if you give a rat's ass about baseball's history, if this isn't something that you just know about, or if it's something you're interested in learning more about, this is probably one of the best years to grab the show. So do yourself a favor, mark it on your calendar, March 28th.
Is it have they announced if it's coming to Game Pass again yet or not?
I would think it is. I would think so.
Because last year's did. That would be awesome.
Did you have any thoughts on this game? I know I fucking...
Dude, no, you nailed it. You took all the words out of my mouth. I think that the Negro League shit looks incredible. They just dropped that trailer out of nowhere. I had no idea that they were doing anything like that. And it's like the guy who runs the Negro League Museum is the one presenting this content. And I mean, it just it looks amazing.
And yes, it is. Right. It is on Game Pass.
Fuck yeah! Thanks. I will play it then.
So. Yeah, I mean, I'd pay full fucking retail for this at this point. I don't care. I want this one. So
it looks great.
Another game near and dear to your heart, Johnny. Sifu finally comes to Xbox. So for those,
don't sleep on this game. Don't sleep on this game.
Also on the 28th, Johnny, what do you have to say about Sifu to those locked on the Xbox that maybe haven't had a chance to experience it yet?
It's one of the best action games to come out in the last few years. The combat is incredibly responsive and tight. Anytime you get your ass kicked, you know why. It's never a game that feels unfair. It presents you the rules and how it works, and if you follow those rules and practice and get good, it's a really rewarding experience to play. And it is one of those games where, like, you'll get your ass kicked by the same boss 12 times. But once you figure him out, it's like riding a bike. The next time you get him, you're like, shit, he only hit me twice. The next time you do him, you're like, didn't touch me once. And then now you're in that rhythm where, like, you go in, you plow through that boss like it's nothing. Because it's a very well-oiled machine. It's a great fucking game. I really, really, really like Sifu a lot.
Just watch out for beer bottles.
Yes. Beer bottles suck.
Finally, The Last of Us Part 1 makes its way to PC, also on the 28th. So
now this is the remastered version, right?
Right. We got to get something clear because this isn't just you. This is a lot of people. Okay.
Yeah.
There's 3 cuts of The Last of Us. Right. Plain ass The Last of Us, which nobody talks about because that only came out on PS3. So we can take that one, we can put it on a shelf, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's not that one. Yeah, absolutely.
You're fine. Then there's The Last of Us Remastered, okay, which is the exact same game, just dropped on PS4. It's the only place that exists. It's the exact same game as the first one, so we can take that one, remastered, and we can put it on a shelf because nobody's ever going to play that. The Last of Us Part 1 is the current iteration of the game. It only exists on PS5 and PC as of the 28th.
Sweet.
And it is the new, absolutely gorgeous version of the game. Looks so different from the original. But I will say this, because good friend Dread Captain James, he's actually borrowed my copy of Part 1. He's streaming it now. It baffles me that people can't seem to figure out these 3 iterations of the game. Okay, The Last of Us and The Last of Us Remastered are the same thing. They both look dated as fuck.
Yeah,
they are ugly old games. They're on a shelf. Last of Us Part 1 is
the remake.
Is the game.
Cool.
So
cool. Well, this will go on my Steam wish list, and I will wait for a Steam sale where I can scoop it for $30, and I will buy it, and it will be my definitive edition. Where
I will buy it
whenever I feel like playing
day
it.
one, full price on Steam, because that's what I do when anything The Last of Us is released. Yeah. And I already own it on PS5, and people were like, I don't know that we really needed another one yet. And then they see it and they go, oh my God.
Yeah, so I have The Last of Us Part 1 sitting in front of my TV right now. It was the next GameFly pick that I had.
Nice.
So I'm waiting till next week. I want to finish the season with my wife, who is not familiar with the story. She's in for a rude awakening next week. And then once we finish that season, then we're going to experience that season in the game. And she will watch me play The Last of Us Part 1. So that'll be
nice.
fun.
And that's a nice quick game to get through as well. It's not very long. Mm-hmm. That wraps up the release radar. We have a few bits of news to go over here. So let's not delay and let's get into it. So, we're not actually covering any delays this week. There were some, but, that's a sore subject for, one Johnny Paulus here.
So fucking salty.
Shadow of the Erd Tree has been revealed. The, first single player, DLC for unanimous Game of the Year, Elden Ring. There's no release date tied to it, but it is huge news that this is in the pipeline, considering the game that this is for. So From Software has officially announced Shadow of the Erd Tree. This drop is from IGN. An upcoming DLC expansion for Elden Ring. The developer, From Software, confirmed that the DLC is currently in development, but no release date has been announced for the time being. This news comes just days after Elden Ring's 1-year anniversary, in which it has sold over 20 million copies and received unprecedented Game of the Year awards, including at DICE, New York Game Awards, and the Game Awards, and was IGN's best game of 2022 as well. Elden Ring has had just one other piece of DLC content added to the game since launch, which came in the form of the Colosseum multiplayer update. It hasn't been confirmed how much content Shadow of the Erd Tree is set to include, but it will be the first single-player expansion available for Elden Ring.
Did they announce? Is this a free DLC, or did they announce a price tag, or do we not know yet?
So I'll look back to previous Dark Souls games. This is going to be paid DLC.
Okay.
It should be a considerable amount of campaign added to the game.
Cool.
Probably new zone. Should be pretty big if we're looking at past games. So, this will get my Elden Ring back up and running for sure, as my Unga Bunga destroy everything with strength build.
I might wipe the dust off my double katana build and give it a shot.
Bleed those bastards to death.
That's right.
That is what Johnny does. Unfortunately, and this is something that I guess just to be addressed to everyone. For me, it's going to be a lot more fun. Do you know why? Because I play it on console, and this game is still optimized like an absolute piss donkey for fucking PC. Oh, I don't have words for my brethren that are stuck playing this game on PC. It's not great. And it runs like ass. And I remember watching poor Johnny here get through the entire game with it stuttering and chirping and acting like complete ass the whole time. And it's hard to remember those things when we look back with rose-colored glasses after it's received all of these game awards and all these 10 out of 10s. But I will remind people that we had your back, and we laid it out to you straight, that the PC version of this game is ass, and that
it's not great.
given that, it shouldn't have been a 10 out of 10 anywhere. We talked about that. That my experience with the game was very different than Johnny's because I played it on a PS5. So be warned. If you do not have this game already and you're excited about this new DLC, be warned. Get it on your fucking console. Do not get it on your PC unless you are willing to tolerate some serious amounts of fucking. Johnny, anything to add on there?
No, I'm intrigued to see what they do and how much they add. And although I've ranted many times about how I'm not a From Software person, they're just not made for me. I did enjoy Elden Ring, so I might fire that back up and hop back in. We'll see.
It would be nice if they addressed some of the PC issues beforehand.
That would be nice.
Because they were plentiful. Speaking of issues, Johnny, you mentioned some issues last week with a certain game. And that game was Forspoken. So, boy, do I have some news for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts here. So, without further ado, the following tweet was posted by Luminous Productions, who is, of course, the developer born out of Final Fantasy 15 to bring us the greatest Western RPG of all time, Forspoken. An update from Luminous Productions. You may have heard the news that Luminous Productions is merging with Square Enix. Beginning on May 1st, our talented team will join Square Enix to deliver new, innovative gaming experiences to players across the globe. Before I go any further, Johnny, can you help me translate that paragraph real quick? What are they? Those are some big words they have there, but what are they really saying?
Our production studio no longer exists, and all of our people are now going to work on Square Enix's game.
Oh, that doesn't sound as positive as the spin that I just read. Let's continue on. Maybe the spin will calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Between now and then, we remain entirely focused on Forspoken. Why did they put that in quotes? We are currently working on the previously announced patch to address overall game performance. We will deliver an update soon. And the DLC, Entanto We Trust, is on track for release this summer. Thank you again for your patience and support. Johnny, help me break down that paragraph real quick. What are they saying there? It's a lot of thanking and talking about issues and stuff.
Hey, we know the game's not great, and that's why we don't have our jobs anymore. But don't worry, we're still going to use the time that we have left to try to make it great. And that DLC, please buy our DLC. Oh, you already uninstalled the game? Oh, that sucks.
When we established Luminous Productions in 2018, our vision was to make AAA games, I like how that's plural, that fuse technology and artistry to deliver completely new play experiences. Having the chance to do just that has been a dream come true. We appreciate you taking this journey with us and look forward to continuing to create new entertainment and experiences as a part of the Square Enix family. Sincerely, the Luminous Productions team.
I will quote my wife again. When I rolled credits on Forspoken, and there's a little like Marvel style after credits moment that alludes to another story beat, another little reveal. And my wife said, "Aw, they had hopes." Because we rolled credits on this game, and we both went, well, there that was. Sure, we're not going to get a sequel for that one. It's a bummer, man. We're so dry on new IPs, so... I had a lot to say about this game, and I think, honestly, they bit off more than they can chew. They tried to cram too much into this game, and what was there, just a lot of it didn't work. And, I think if the person who wrote the script for this game wrote this little blurb that they put up on Twitter, it would say, an update from Luminous Productions. As you may have fucking heard the news, that Luminous Productions is merging with fucking Square Enix. Beginning on May 1st, our talented fucking team will join Square Enix to fucking deliver new innovative game experiences to players across the fucking globe. That would be how they would have written it. The character says fuck in this game like 8,000
like
times.
a Limp Bizkit
There are like big emotional beats where shit happens and the lead character just says fuck off. I mean, it was a humorous level of F-bombs in that game. I know I've shit on it. I know I hated on it. I'll just to wrap up the last time we'll ever talk about Forspoken. When you see it in the bargain bin for $20 and you're looking for a game to play, I didn't hate my time with this game, but I wanted so much more. I wanted it to be an 8, and frankly, it was probably a 6. So, I'm not surprised that the team is kaput and going to just become a bigger part of Square Enix. And Square Enix, they don't play games. They make these decisions quickly. And, I kind of saw this coming, so I didn't surprise me at all that this happened.
Yeah, one of the other big news topics this week, and I didn't put this in here, but they're replacing their CEO. They said enough. That the past 10 years have not been what they wanted, and that they'll be putting somebody new in place in June. So that whole company's been on the shakeup. And this is just kind of something when it comes to Japanese businesses. They don't fucking play. You perform or you die.
Yeah,
That's how it works. There's not endless second chances or anything. It's you do it right or you get whacked. And there's been a lot of that going on at Square Enix. Even though I would say by American standards, they've been pretty good. They've had some successful games in there. They've had some duds. But they've been okay. So, I think in a different part of the world, it just got to be business as usual. But not in Japan. So, expect great things from Square. If they're my favorite video game company, they have been for basically forever. You can't fuck with Square. They're just the best. And even in these bad years, they've still done okay. But it is nice to see them protect their name and their standard for quality. And that, frankly, they're not going to put up with this bullshit. So good on you, Square. And Luminous Productions, we're really glad that you got to make those AAA games, quote. I think it was just one.
No, I mean,
one and done.
What was good in the game was good, and what was not good was not good. And I'm sure there's a lot of talented people there that will go on to do great things for Square.
Yeah,
so.
Your main gripe with it really was the writing. It seemed, which is what a lot of people griped about before the game came out. Was the writing was bad. So you know what was telling that the writing was actually bad. You didn't see any of the 4 Woken after the game came out. Everyone got quiet. Real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was defending it. They all went, oh, wow, this game really fucking sucks. Maybe we should just leave this one alone.
Yeah.
And there it went. That was it for Forspoken. That's the tale of Forspoken. It was more popular in pre-release than it was until it came out, and people got their hands on it, and it was bad.
Some of the worst side quests I've ever experienced ever in the history of all games.
Rest in peace, Luminous Productions. Rest in peace. You took your one shot, and it didn't work out. Johnny, that brings us to our final segment of this week's episode. It's time for One Up. I kind of already touched on mine, so I'll knock mine out very quickly. My one up this week is musicals. Musicals take a lot of fucking work to pull off. A lot of work to pull off. I mean, just as a musician playing in a musical, it's usually like 2 albums worth of music. It's nuts. And it's always fucking crazy complicated because it was written by some musical genius that can score an entire orchestra and write a story and all this shit. God damn it. They're intense. They're crazy. And I'm sucked into one right now. And I'm just on the ride until the end of this month. And I forgot what that was like. And musicals are wild shit, man. My one up this week is musicals. Johnny, have you ever been in a musical?
I was in a rock opera. The Dingleberry Dynasty rock opera called Jody.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. I was one of the main villains. I got booed every night. It was awesome.
Wasn't that back like when Fletcher's was still around? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep, we did 2 nights of shows at a really big theater hall, and so it's 4 shows there. All of those were sold out. And then we did another like 3 or 4 weekends at a much smaller theater, and all of those sold out. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But no, I got to be the bad guy. I got to be the villain and chase the lead character around and beat her up, and it was a lot of fun.
That's my one up, Johnny. What's yours?
My one up is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This is a new animated show that's out on the Disney Channel. It's also on Disney Plus. The reason why I'm calling this show out, we don't get a lot of shows for the culture anymore. And this show very much reminds me of like Proud Family or like maybe the PJs. Like this is very much a black talented team making this show. And stylistically, it's over the top. It's very kid friendly because it's on the Disney Channel. Anybody that has young kids and you're looking for something fun to watch with the kids, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is fucking awesome. It's just it's a Marvel show, but it's very over the top stylized, and like if you're gonna give me a very cool hyper stylized cartoon where at the end the lead character beats the crap out of the bad guy while Childish Gambino is playing in the background, I'm in. I'm in. So it's awesome. It's just so fucking cool. Like it's just over the top cool. Animation wise, it's one of the coolest things I've seen since Spider-Verse. It's very, very good.
Excellent. That basically wraps things up. Johnny, did you have any closing thoughts for this week as we prepare to depart?
No. I'm glad that we got kind of a soft month this month because we got a lot of games to get caught up on, and I'm going to take advantage.
Watch the Last of Us TV show.
Yes, that too. Good Lord. We got 1 episode left.
It's really good.
It's really fucking good.
And you should watch it if you haven't, because it's good. I like it a lot, and I don't like TV shows. So that's all you need to know. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back again next week, of course, with another great episode of the Power Gamer Podcast for you to enjoy. Until then, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch you on the flip-flop.
Yeah.